Now, one of the things that we are seeing in the South African market is that today the top 40, JSE top 40 is improving. It's up 1.6%, and also it's also up 1.6%. The South African rand to the dollar, it's also strengthening. Of course, think now it's below 19 rands per dollar, which is something, or per US dollar, which is something that, of course, it's pretty great, especially once after we saw last week a lot of people panicking that the rands to the dollar is going to go over 20 rands, which is something that was not good to see, not something that was not good to hear, because even for us that also are investors or retail investors who buy shares, we transfer our funds to buy international shares. We were not reaping, or we were not, it was not really that good to see yourself getting a conversion or an exchange rate of 19 rands or over 19 rands. It was becoming too expensive to buy those assets. But us seeing the rands to the dollar coming below 19 rands, I must say this is something that is great. And what fueled this, you will know that is because of the temporary suspension that, of course, came after President Donald Trump had hit South Africa with a 30% tariff increase on all of our exports. Now that that tariff has been put to hold for the next 3 months or 90 days, we are seeing the markets liking this and therefore recovering or showing some good recoveries, which is something that is great, something that is exciting. I mean, a lot of people panicked during that time where we saw market crashing, we saw our exchange rate of becoming weak. A lot of people were panicking, and this or that was a very, very scary situation, because some of the people, those that especially don't have much experience when it comes to obviously investing, buying shares, they end up panicking and selling their shares because they never knew that a solution could come this early. They never thought that we could see President Trump coming and obviously pause the tariffs onto these countries that impose tariffs to in such a short space of time. And we saw that happening, and those that took the low trading share price as opportunities to buy more shares, they're the ones laughing, they're the ones that are happy that they did so, because the markets continues recovering, the markets continue doing very well, which is good for the SA market. So our goods or our exports now, they will only succumb to just the 10% which Trump announced to all the tariffs, to all the exports coming to, of course, the United States of America, to all the exports going to the United States of America, which came to effect as of the 2nd of April this year. So that one still remains, but the 30% has been temporarily suspended. The market are liking this. The markets are very happy to know that Trump has paused the tariffs, or the recent 30% tariffs that obviously he had imposed onto South Africa. I mean, South Africa was one of the countries that got the highest tariff hit from the from the Trump administration. Other countries got the worst. The worst were Lesotho, China. Lesotho, you know that they were hit with 50% tariff increase, right? And obviously, it was not good for them. China, it was 34%, and we saw China, of course, trying to retaliate or retaliating, which over the weekend it led into obviously Trump withdrawing some of the tariffs, or lifting some of the tariffs that he had imposed onto China of plus 140%, by restricting some chips, some various, of course, products that they are getting from China, which China today is saying also for China, they must scrape off all the tariffs completely, like what they did to obviously other countries. The reason why China's tariffs were not scraped off was because they retaliated, whilst other countries like our very own South Africa, we never retaliated. We took time to process and analyze, and we got rewarded for that. For China, because they retaliated, and unfortunately that caused them to be or to be hit with the plus 140% tariffs that they currently are succumbing to right now. But hopefully things get better, man, because if there's no solution up there, it's going to end up also having an impact into us, because those are the two strongest economy in the world, right? Those countries have the strongest economy in the world, with the US obviously the strongest economy in the world, followed by China, which is something that we must take cognizance of. So the markets are doing well. I thought I'd come and give you these quick updates, because in as much as people were panicking, some people don't realize that the markets have recovered, or the markets are recovering, which is actually a good thing. So I think there is a lesson learned, like I said, to everyone, to say sometimes don't panic based off what you are seeing, especially coming from politics or coming from trade, because things can just change in a short space of time. Like I said, there are people that took harsh decisions, sold all their shares because they never thought the solution, there will be a temporary solution that comes or that surface, and those are the very same people that are regretting, because the markets, like I said, they are recovering, which is a very good, important lesson to learn. So yeah, man, I thought I'd give you this quick updates. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you like what we are seeing into the markets. I am liking this because my local shares have recovered or are recovering, and the exchange rate is now below 19 rands to the dollar, which now makes it easier for me to transfer my funds into the US. I mean, this was always, to me, I was not really worried about the tariffs. I was worried about our exchange rate, right? The exchange rate of the South African rands to the dollar, which almost hits 20 rands, and this would have made us to obviously, yeah, having to work extra hard if you want to buy US equities or US shares. This is good news, man, and I thought I gave them to you. Tell me what you think about this. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I do content for you on a daily basis to give you updates, to give you a heads up of what is coming, and all I ask is for you to give it a thumbs up, videos like this, so that at least yeah, we push this kind of content. People are aware, because there are people that, like I said, still don't know that the markets are recovering, especially those that have sold and are still angry at the fact that they had to sell their shares, or they had to sell their assets on a loss, because things were just so unpredictable during that time. But let it be a lesson learned. Hope you learned your lesson. Hope they learned their lesson. And yeah, I will see you on the next one, and God bless you all.